Hi guys, welcome to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle. I'm Michelle Pozzie, and we also have the beautiful
Aly Legge.
Aly Legge.
I want to say Pozzie, okay?
Pozzie and Legge. We gotta get some swag.
Yes.
With our names on it. I love it. I love it.
Guys, thank you. Friday. Happy Friday. Finally.
We flipping made it. It's Friday. It's Friday. Oh my gosh. We've got so much to cover today. Got a lot of fun things, even some things in the entertainment industry. There are some wonderful movies and opportunities you have to take your family out. Yes. We're going to get all into it, all into all the things. Right, Allie?
Yes, into all the things. I'm so excited.
Let's do it. I knew you were going to be dancing when we came back here. All we need is our red hats, girl. And let's check this out. This is actually a live shot right now from this morning from Tampa, the Tampa skyline. Beautiful Florida.
You know what, honestly, I would rather see the beach.
You missed the beach, right?
I do.
You're coming home soon. You're coming home soon. Oh
man, I would rather see, like an island. That's what I need, or a cabin in the woods somewhere where there's
like a big feather fan.
Right, like that's what I need.
We don't require much. It's not much.
Not much.
Get it together.
Oh my God.
I love it. Allie is still wonderfully in Washington, D.C., wrapping up her visit there. Allie, for our viewers that maybe haven't been able to catch all of our shows this week, why don't you give us a quick rundown of what you've been doing as the Director of Civic Engagement for Moms for America? The moms have infiltrated D.C. Let us know what you guys have been up to.
Yes, you know that saying that our moms do, that all moms say, don't make me come down there. Well,
don't make me get up.
Our moms have done exactly that. Now, there's these other groups and they'll do events and they take these photos with celebrities and politicians, and we are the ones that are actually boots on the ground making things happen on the Hill. So hashtag Moms on the Hill. It's what we've been doing since Monday. We've had 35 moms with us from 18 different states. We had about 80 to 85 meetings in 3 days, meeting with senators and representatives up in Congress to talk to them about our new legislative arm of Moms for America called Kitchen Table Lobby. You can go to kitchentablelobby.com.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
It's amazing. We have 6 or 7 legislative items that we're looking at for the next year. I'm sure there'll be some more added because we're getting a new Congress, hopefully November 6th, depending on, if the ones that are actually there will actually do their jobs. But what we've been up there doing since Moms for America educates moms on the proper rules of government and our foundational principles of this nation, they found a legislation attached to the Farm Bill called the EATS Act that essentially would have China owning farmland here in America by way of Smithfield Foods. It's the pork industry.
Smithfield is owned by China, the CCP. So there's all your pork.
That's so your bacon, your pork loins, all of it. Make sure you go and
ruined bacon for me right before the weekend. Like I can't believe that I haven't done. Go ahead, sorry.
But no, so it's good. It's really great. Make sure you look up what a hog hotel is. That is the standard in China, and that's what they are trying to do here in America. And
Allie, go ahead and break it here. What the heck is a hog hotel?
A hog hotel is a building stories high, filled with hog cages, floor to floor, end to end, and excrement falls all the way down to the very bottom, into the soil, into the land, into these pits. So it breeds. That's what the animals are breathing. That's what they're laying in. That's what they're walking in. It is inhumane and it is absolutely disgusting. That's what they want to bring to the farms here once these 4 monopolies of the pork industry buy up all the small farms who don't want to participate. And then we have the OFF Act, right? And the OFF Act is essentially subsidies. So it's, the teachers union, it's like the teachers paying into the teachers union, and the teachers union is using the funding to, indoctrinate our children. But this is worse. It's being forced to put money into programs, a big program that is actively advocating against our farmers. So look up the Got Milk campaign. There was a Got Milk campaign for our dairy farmers, and this big corporation came out. This agency came out. It's like the Farmers Association or whatever it is. Association, right? Just like the teachers union, to unionize something that the farmers don't get permission. They're forced to go into it. They don't have a choice. So the Got Milk,
crazy.
Right? It's crazy. So the Got Milk campaign, they don't even know where the money's going either. So the Got Milk campaign essentially was like, we're going to put all our funding into this, and we're going to boost our dairy farms. You know who it helped? It helped no American farms. All that funding went to Canada.
Oh my gosh.
But our American farmers were funding.
Well, and you said earlier in the week too, a lot of the American farmers aren't necessarily running to Washington, D.C. to be able to lobby for themselves. So you've got these lobbying arms that do not necessarily have the best interest of your American farmers. And I'm sure it takes a lot to take them off the fields, away from their crops, away from their duties, to go to Washington, D.C. So I love that the moms are filling that void and they're filling that role. Thank you, Allie, for what you're doing.
Well, that's what we've done the last couple of days, and there's 6 more bills in there. I won't get into that because that'll be a whole show. But that's just what we've been doing with that. And I'm still here. I leave today, but yesterday was an amazing day, and we'll get back to that. But
yes, well, I just want to let the cat out of the bag. I know you attended the God's Not Dead, In God We Trust premiere last night, which
so there's a story behind that, and we'll get there.
Okay, I thought we'd show the trailer, because this is a good option. As when you have families, especially, I know you have younger kids, you're always looking for something to do on the weekend. But a lot of the smut and crap that's been exposed now out there in films, it's like you don't even want to take your young ones. This is a good option for families. Let me see if I can get this to play. This is 2.5 minutes, but it's worth it. We're going to do it. So here's God's Not Dead, In God We Trust.
We ever forget that we're one nation under God, then we will be a nation gone under.
Now more than ever, Christians must realize that we're being called to deliver hope to a country that's feeling hopeless. Faith begins where your comfort zone ends. We need to step out into that faith.
We're 6 weeks out from Election Day, and a lot of folks have lost hope in the future of our country.
We must maintain a wall of separation between church and state. Religion has no place in the public square.
Once they bankrupt our country, they will have complete control.
Where did we go wrong, Lord?
We need someone who can light a fire in the voters.
The preacher. He helped on those education hearings.
I've been hired to manage a campaign for Congress.
I'm not a politician.
If you don't take on this fight, we could lose everything.
They found someone to run against you.
Are we worried about a preacher?
My next guest is a candidate for Congress. You're going to get a lot of questions about your faith.
Well, maybe people are looking for more spiritual and moral leadership in Washington.
You're making God an easy target for them, Pastor.
God's not the target, Lottie. Our country is. God's just standing in their way.
I will not be made a fool of. I won't stop until your moral high ground crumbles beneath your feet.
You don't win unless you play by their rules.
I feel like I have 2 options. I can either do the things my faith asks me not to, or I lose this race. It's like God keeps putting these impossible mountains in front of me.
Perhaps God put those mountains in front of you to show that they can be moved.
Please pray for David, guys.
In God we trust.
This contest is about shaping the future of our nation.
Keep your boy in line. It's like his God, I can give it and I can take it away.
How do you know it's God?
Reverend Hill, your beliefs are a textbook example of Christian nationalism.
Whenever anyone of faith promotes a policy that you don't like, you label them a Christian nationalist. We need to stand up. Send the message to Washington. Tell them you're not ready to give that power up. You have the power to change things. Not me, not him, you.
In God we trust.
And without God, democracy will not and cannot long endure.
Holy cow. My goodness, Allie. I don't know how you sat through that and had a dry eye.
I was a mess. I was a mess, and I had to keep it together because I have like the panel of all the actors behind me and the director and like all the stars, and like we got CPAC board members in there.
Video in there?
It was because CPAC hosted it.
I love it.
We
Oh
hosted
my gosh,
it at
that's
the
so cool.
Rayburn building. So this is the thing. We'll get into the movie here in a second. And so okay, let's start here. This movie is amazing. 40 million Christians do not vote. We're going after the wrong demographic if we want to change Jason. Guys, you cannot complain about the State of the Union and sit on your ass. You have to get up.
No, because we get so, it's, and I know this isn't probably the time or place to say this, but it's partly the leaders in the Christian community, because we get to where we're just, so heaven bound that we don't do the things we're supposed to do here on earth. And faith is action based, and 40 million Christians not voting, you guys, my God, because of mean tweets. I don't know what it is.
Isaiah Washington.
That's the fire you need to light.
Isaiah Washington said this: faith without works is what?
Dead. Faith
without works is what?
Dead.
Is God dead?
I love that.
So go out and vote.
Oh, take that message with you guys today, this weekend for church.
So
oh my God.
It is out this weekend. Take your whole family, take your neighbors, go see this movie because it will inspire you. And it touched me because I'm a candidate, and like we always feel like we're called by God. Honestly, you and me, we've been called by God to do the things that we're doing, and we're following His footsteps. We're following his advice, and it is an amazing film. It is an amazing film. I absolutely loved it. But here's the kicker. So it was supposed to be done in the Capitol, so the Rayburn building, but we had it in the Rayburn building in the Judiciary Committee room.
Oh, that's amazing.
No, it's not. Let me tell you why.
Why?
This room is tiny. It's incredibly small. It was supposed to be done in the visitor center of the Capitol. First of all, why do we have a visitor center in the People's House? That was built by Nancy Pelosi because she didn't want the riffraff to come into the Capitol and touch and be around, right, and be around, the elected officials, okay? They tried to shut it down.
Who's they? Who would shut this down?
The Democrats in the House tried to shut down the entire event. Speaker Mike Johnson and Representative Jim Jordan said absolutely not. And instead of them pushing for it to be held in the original place that it was going to be held, which was the Visitors Center, they pushed it to the Judiciary Committee room. So while, yes, we still got to see the premiere, we got treated like the redheaded stepchildren. We had a tiny screen. It was supposed to be like a big thing, and it wasn't.
Where's the boldness in our leaders? Where's the boldness? Where's the Davids?
Exactly.
Where's the Davids?
Busy trying to find power and pride and women.
Well, I'll tell you, and I know we don't always share personal things, but I went to a local REC, Republican Executive Committee meeting last night here in Sarasota County where I live. But finally, because the primaries are over, Allie, and I know you mentioned being a candidate, I got to, I would say talk, but it sounded more like shouting back and forth to people who I know spread the most vicious vitriol about just little old me running as a candidate. And it was after they realized that we prayed before we did anything. When you ran for office, when I ran for office, the outcomes are not guaranteed. God does not always guarantee an outcome, but when you're asked to do something, darn it, you step in and you do it. And I had to ask these people that are bold-faced Republicans, what problem do you have with that? Because somebody challenged your delegate congressman or representative. And last night I finally felt a little of that leave the room. It was like people realized, what are we doing? I love the timing of this movie. God's timing is perfect. I think this is a good timing for this, right?
It is perfect. Guys, we are like less than 60 days out from an election.
It is go time. It is go time. And I'm telling you, right here in the state of Florida, we just heard yesterday, Senator Scott, Allie, is like within a 1 point within his race. We can't lose any Senate seats, guys. We have got to send all the help we can get there, whether you like, we use an 80-20 rule, right? I might be able to agree with 80%. The 20% that you did is garbage, but we need that vote. We need that support. And so that terrifies me that, Free State of Florida and Governor Scott, or former Governor Scott, is going to have to be in the fight of his life for his seat.
That's scary. I didn't realize that.
Against a Democrat.
I know. I've been so busy with up here. So it's like, oh my gosh, we cannot lose that seat.
We cannot lose that seat. And here's one of the reasons. Go ahead. Yeah.
Did you want to talk about my breaking news?
Well, your breaking news. Remind me, did we talk about it?
Yeah, we did.
I got 40-year-old brain. I was going to move to Matt Gaetz and some of the omnibus spending. No. What's your breaking news?
Well, so since we're on the topic of movies, I went to the premiere. Yes, I went to the premiere. CPAC was there. CPAC kind of hosted the whole thing. Pure Flix was there, obviously, because they're the ones who created the film.
Yes.
And I was personally invited by Mr. Isaiah Washington as an influencer. He had some influencers there as well from X that he's met.
Just to be clear, that's Dr. Burke on Grey's Anatomy.
Yes,
early Grey's Anatomy. Isaiah Washington,
100%.
love him. Yes. Go ahead.
And he's played in many movies.
Yes.
He's very, very talented as an actor. But he has another film coming out that he is directing and starring in, and it's a thriller. It's a female thriller, and it's called Cousins. And I have been lucky enough to be offered a part in this film as Special Agent Johnson. I'm his partner in not in crime, but partner in fighting crime.
Allie, you're made for that.
I'm a
Darn it, we got to share Allie with the world. I'm
so excited about it. I feel like a little girl living my dream. I've always wanted to create movies and sing, and I didn't think I was going to be in public policy, but I absolutely love what I've been doing up here this past week, and then just the fact that so I've been formally introduced as a new cast member for the new movie that's coming out. It'll be probably, I don't know when it's coming out, but it'll be out. But I'm just so beside myself.
We will let our viewers know, because Allie, you've got a huge support system behind you, and I know what God's got planned for you is so
exciting.
Your trajectory is just getting started, and I'm blessed to know you guys. Allie she's the real deal.
Thank you. Well, it's about a female vigilante who takes out pedophiles. So another properly.
So it's you. It's you, undercover. Guys, one of the reasons why we need people like Allie and Isaiah Washington to do these kinds of films, because we're bringing it mainstream, right? Once you're able to talk about these topics mainstream, listen, they brought smut mainstream, so we're going to combat it with this. But one of the reasons why this matters so much, we need to get people. You heard 40 million Christians don't even bother to show up to vote because they probably believe in the garbage of separation of church and state, which is completely false. But what we need is more support and help, because we have people like Matt Gaetz from right here in the state of Florida who are trying to push to break up omnibus spending. We have it actually here in the state of Florida. They can't pass legislation where they group multiple subjects under one spending bill. They have to break it up. And I want to just play this real quick, Allie. This is Matt Gaetz actually speaking on what his plan is. This is why we need more constitutional Republicans elected on November 5th to help him.
All the talk in Washington is about whether we'll have this flavor of a continuing resolution for government funding or that flavor of a continuing resolution. And what that does is it presents the entire funding of the United States government as an up or down vote, an up or down proposition. And that is precisely the reason we're nearly $38 trillion in debt. We have to break the fever dream of governing by omnibus spending bill and continuing resolution, and we have to get to single subject spending bills where these agencies have to defend their budget, and it's programmatic review. And the reason that doesn't happen is because the lobbyists and the special interests who run this town and who own the leaders on both sides, they want it that way. They don't want any itemized review. And so we have to get back to those single subject bills, or we will continue this path we're on, where we're adding $1 trillion in debt to the national debt every 100 days. The American people don't want it. Only the folks in Washington want it. And I'm going to keep demanding a change in the way we think, breaking the fever dream and getting back to single subject bills.
Love that. I love that. The boldness, right? to just stand there and say the things that we all agree on as conservatives. At least we should, unless you're conservative and Republican in name only, which there are those. Allie, so what do you think about this? This is obviously done right here in the state of Florida. We know it can be done. I talked to somebody in Vern Buchanan's camp and pushed back a little bit on why did you give them money for Ukraine and not close the southern border? Well, because Israel was tied in there too, and I wanted to support Israel. They do it deliberately.
They do, so they can make the other side look bad. Both sides freaking do it. It's disgusting. Stop playing these games with the American dollar. You're messing with people's pockets. You're messing with people's lives. Yes. Stop it. You are up here and you're worth millions of dollars, right? So you are not touched by everyday, decisions that you're making that affect the everyday person, right? Those that do not live on the hill. It's almost like, this is the castle and we are the peasants. Stop it. That's not why you're there. And that's why I think being on the hill is so important as well. But
absolutely to bring because you bring reality to people that are elected and they start to live in this environment of Washington, D.C., where there's so many things that happen and are allowed in Washington, D.C. that you and I, it would make our heads spin. And so you bring the moms to Washington, D.C., Allie, and you give them a heavy dose of reality. And
it's not, because not everybody has a mom perspective and they're getting lobbyist perspectives. But you know who's the biggest lobby in America that is underutilized? We the people. We the people. Yeah. We are the biggest lobby. So that's why, we're going up there. And I 100% agree with Matt Gaetz. We definitely do need it itemized. There is nothing that our government spends that we the people should not know about. We Absolutely. Need to, just like you go through your budget at home, line by line, to figure out what the heck you're spending your money on. That's exactly what needs to happen with our federal government and our state government.
Yep. Get out the red marker, just like families across America have had to do under the Biden administration, and get out there and slash what's going to go. What are you not going to be able to support?
Right. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, girl. I want to make sure we get to this.
Yeah. As part of our additional tax cuts, we will.
Trump interjected, and when he does that, then we just go straight to him. Let me go ahead and start this. Trump, you want to talk about bringing the kitchen table and moms and who cares about the families in America? You can say what you want about the fact that he's a multi-billionaire, but this is the next president for the blue collar America. This is what he's calling his blue collar plan. Let's listen.
I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that.
I mean, I could keep playing it, but literally it's going to be about another minute and a half of just complete cheering. So, you've got, this is the president, no tax on tips. No taxes now on overtime, which has been required in order to survive in Biden's America. What do you think of this, Allie? You think the moms are going to be behind this?
Absolutely. That is amazing. I cannot believe that is what he's doing. I mean, about freaking time, man. A man for the people. He works for you. If that is not clear, I don't know what you're smoking.
But we know it's not legal recreationally in the state of Florida yet, because it's going to be on the ballot in November. But sorry. Yeah, I'm afraid now that that if there's another debate, I don't know if Kamala will agree to another one without her special earrings. But
earring gate.
Is this something? Earring gate? No, she didn't. I love it. Is this going to be something that she's going to steal as well?
Oh, sure. And then the Democrats are going to eat it up, and then they'll vote for her. And then, God forbid, she wins. She's not going to follow through with it, and everybody's going to be pissed off and blame Trump, even though he's not in office. It's stupid. That's how that's going to go. It won't go that way because President Trump is going to win.
No, absolutely, he's going to win 100%. I want to actually, I'm going to show our viewers this last slide here, if I can get it up. So listen, we live in the state of Florida, obviously, Allie and I. We have a wonderful Florida Surgeon General, Joseph Ladapo, appointed by DeSantis. Excuse the dog in the background.
Oh, it's fine.
He's a Republican, so he's okay. He can speak up.
Oh, that's good.
Joseph Ladapo has come out again. He's come out again and said, based on the global immunity and current available data, stop with the mRNA COVID. They call it the vaccine, but it's gene therapy. Stop it. There's so much we don't know about it, so just stop it. And because he's a DeSantis appointee here in the state of Florida, Allie, Democrat heads are completely exploding over it. So it makes me wonder, you know, how is it that you highest ranking medical professional in the state of Florida, Ivy League educated, and This is why it tells you that COVID was actually something that was very, very political. So just want to get your 2 cents on I guess we've got like 3 minutes left. What's your 2 cents here on what Joseph Latipo is saying? Do you agree? I mean, I know you've had some personal issues.
Absolutely. Yeah. If we're going to talk about following the science, then follow the damn science. Why are we playing games? I mean, if he's sitting here saying, no, don't take it, there's no evidence that it actually works or that it's healthy for you or does anything beneficial based on the current science we have, then that's his recommendation. Why don't you just do that like the CDC? The CDC is like, oh, we just recommended it. It's not mandated. But like, come on. Take the advice. I mean, do what you want, obviously, but take the advice. It's like Democrats, the other side, the liberals, the communists, they're not happy unless they control everything and force you to believe the way that they do. It's absolutely ridiculous. But when you talk about freedom and you talk about the choice of being able to, you know, the wherewithal for an individual to make their own decisions, it's like, how dare you?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember early on in some of the COVID protocols, going to school board meetings, and I had to ask them, okay, you're telling me that the kids need to stand 6 feet apart. So this is a virus that is so freaking smart. It actually understands that, okay, I've encroached 5.5 feet, 5 3/4, 6. I can't go there. Like, it's not scientific at all. And here you have
standing. You can't get sick, or you're sitting with your mask off. You can't get sick. But if you stand up and put it on, you can't get sick. Like, I don't, what are we talking about?
This is absolutely
but only affected Trump rallies and didn't affect the riots.
You're right. Black Lives Matter was immune. It was very weird.
It was
very strange.
Incredible.
Did you hear, I know we've only got a couple minutes left, but I want to touch base on it. Did you hear during the debates, while we were all looking one way, during the debates, apparently a U.S. Secret Service assistant director, his name is Michael Pozzie, I think is his last name, assistant director of office in the Office of Protective Operations. He says he was always going to retire. He'd known for a year he was going to retire, but magically he kind of was ushered into this early retirement. What they're saying, it has nothing to see here. It has nothing to do with what happened on J 13th with the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Do we buy this?
First of all, that whole sentence made no sense. I knew I was going to retire a year early, but they forced me to retire early. What?
Yeah. And it's an ink. You got to check out Fox News. FoxNews.com has it right on their homepage. It's crazy.
I think it's honestly because of J13.
Because of J13. And I've seen a post on X where a lot of our congressmen and women are saying, when we find out the truth about a lot of the things that happened on J13th, we will be shocked. Allie, we're all out of time. Let's just go ahead and make it an hour long. This is crazy.
It goes so fast. So fast.
We love you. We can't wait for you to be back here in Florida. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Go see God's Not Dead.
Yes. Bye.